What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya has posted a surprising tweet towards Eddie Hearn, the fellow promoter of the Zone. He tells Eddie Hearn, hey, worry about your own fighter. Don't worry about Canelo. Worry more about Joshua, your premier fighter, and the rematch he's going to have with Ruiz, which I hear you're having problems with. Hashtag Counterpunch. Anyway, this is crazy news because, of course, we know that Canelo fights on the Zone and Joshua fights on the Zone, fight-by-fight basis or whatnot. They're both signed with the Zone. Different promoters, of course. And it looks like we have somewhat of a quarrel, a civil spat, so to speak, because Eddie Hearn pissed off Oscar De La Hoya by his comments regarding the PBC and, of course, Canelo's next opponent, because everyone knows that he just accepted, kind of like a plea bargain, to be WBC's franchise honorary champion in recess or whatever, para siempre. Forever, right? Because nobody can take that belt from him, so I'm assuming that's forever. Anyway, we also have the twist of the potential fights that Canelo could have, and we know it won't be Charlo. He's looking at Sergey Kovalev, but of course, people are questioning, why don't you fight Callum Smith, more of a fresher, more of a dangerous opponent at 168, which is the WBA super champion, instead of just the regular, which Rocky Fielding held shortly until getting stopped by Canelo. So, you know, a lot of speculation has been up. A lot of people think that, you could think that Oscar's doing that as a defense mechanism because he doesn't really want to deal with Eddie Hearn making a Callum Smith fight, because, you know, Eddie Hearn would be a part of that deal, being the promoter of Callum Smith. And that is a dangerous fight for Canelo. I think it's the most dangerous. Kovalev is a dangerous fight, but, you know, real talk, Kovalev has been stopped. You know, we were thinking that he would retire at this point. He's not like he used to be when he was literally killing people, right? Doing the Max Bear shit. So, you know, he's older. He's still a good fighter, but that is a safer bet, even though it's at a different weight class. Now, it is ballsy. It is risky because it is at a different weight class, but Callum Smith would be the most dangerous opponent, to be the more easier fight to make, because they both fight on the Zone. And of course, Callum Smith wants that opportunity to avenge his brother's loss. You know, Beefy Smith, you know, when Canelo was at 155, then all of a sudden went back to 154 just to get the belt, just to go back and fight at middleweight, or go up to fight at middleweight. So, you know, it's crazy, you know, and I knew they would clash sooner or later, though, because both of those two guys, being from different places, fighting on the same platform, I think we would have this. It is surprising, too, at the same time, because you're looking at it like, okay, Canelo has beat a couple of Eddie Hearn's fighters, and, you know, Eddie Hearn wants his own revenge, right? And we don't know what's in store for Canelo. Nobody does, you know? And if we connect the dots, Andrade called out Canelo yesterday. Now, he accused Canelo of cherry picking, you know, picking guys. You know, I mean, Daniel Jacobs is no cherry pick. So I think Canelo does what he does a harder fight or difficult fight than an easy fight, than a harder fight. So I think it's time for him to, you know, pick a more challenging fighter, especially after, or an easier fighter, especially after Danny Jacobs. So, but it is crazy. You know, Eddie Hearn did say they don't have really Golden Boy, you know, you got Canelo, but that's it. And a lot of Oscar De La Hoya's fighters from Golden Boy, they don't exclusively fight on DAZN. They fight on other networks, and that's causing money. You got to pay for airtime for these fights, on top of securing the amount of fight purses for the fighters. So that's what he was saying. I guess that pissed Oscar De La Hoya off. And Oscar had that to say about Eddie Hearn, hit him below the belt, you know what I mean, and told him, hey, worry about your own fucking fighter. Don't worry about us, you know. By the way, I hear you're having problems with. So, you know, it's a little drama. It's a little drama right now between promoters. And I honestly haven't had or seen any other conflicts. And I think this is the first conflict that Oscar De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn had together. And I'm questioning, like, why didn't Oscar DM him that? You know, he wanted to put it out there, like, he wanted to make a statement. He wanted everyone to know, like, hey, fuck you, Eddie Hearn, you worry about your own fighter. So, I mean, that must, you could tell that pissed him off, because he wanted everybody to see that by the masses, right? So, I don't know. We'll see what comes of it, you know. Again, this is just trash talk, beefing, so to speak. You guys tell me what you think about this rivalry between Oscar De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.